I'm live. Awesome. Okay. Oh, there's new little thingies on here. What's this? Questions from your story. Okay, I'm just gonna pin this. What are we talking about? Happiness. Sorry guys, I'm just pinning this thing. We're talking about happiness and habits is what we are talking about today. Let me just quickly pin this and then hopefully it'll all work. Hang with me, guys. Fuck, this bloody pinning thing is like legit the bane of my existence. Okay, well, we're not pinning today. Whatever. All right, cool. I hope you all had a beautiful Christmas and a beautiful New Year's. I know I've been a little bit MIA on stories, but I've just been like, just taking some time for myself and whatever. So today we are going to be talking about happiness and habits. Now, obviously with it being a new year, everybody wants to create New Year's resolutions, new habits, they've got new goals for themselves. That's all fantastic, but if you don't set things up correctly, you aren't going to be able to stick them out for the whole year. How many people start off the year doing like, yep, I'm waking up at 6:30 every morning and I'm meditating, and by December, they're waking up at 9 p.m. and having a fucking beer for breakfast. So, well, maybe not that extreme, but point being is, you can create new habits, but it's a little bit more complicated than just saying, if I do a habit for a month, it's gonna stick forever, right? Because there's the saying of like, it takes 21 days to make a habit, right? But it takes 1 day to break it if you haven't put the correct steps in place. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk a little bit about happiness as well because, oh, hey, Maddie. We're gonna talk about happiness as well because I put up a question on my Instagram story, like a sticker thingy saying, what are you struggling with right now? And I got a lot of people saying just like how to be happy. So I thought, let's just talk about that as well. It's the beginning of a year. Everybody wants to like have this being their best year of their lives, of course, because you hope every year is better than the last one. So let's talk a little bit about happiness as well. Okay, so the first thing is with happiness is you are born happy, right? You are born as pure love with everything that you need for your whole life. You are born knowing what your career is meant to be, knowing what your purpose in life is meant to be. You are born knowing how to be happy and what brings you joy and what brings you happiness. And as we go through life, we have conditioning from our parents and from our friends and from movies and from society. Now, can I just say a side note with parenting is that, and me and my friend were discussing this actually yesterday, is that no matter what you do with parenting, you will never be right. Because if you try and not condition your son or your daughter, whatever you do, you're still conditioning them. So even if, for example, let's use like sex. So even if, for example, you never said to them, like, don't put your boobs out, right? But then it could also have the opposite effect of them not understanding certain boundaries within themselves, right? So no matter what you do, it's never going to be 100%. And so that's really a key thing to note. So when you're picking up your blind spots, if you've got a coach and they're pulling out your blind spots or pulling out your conditioning, don't think that your parents did the wrong job. Because even when you're a parent, no matter what you do, it's still never going to be perfect because your child is still going to be conditioned based on what you have taught them. Whether it's a good thing for you or not, they're still going to be conditioned. Now, sorry, I need water. I had a bit of fun on New Year's Eve and my voice is really croaky because I was singing so much. Okay, so with happiness is it's in your core. So I don't want you to go and think like, how do I become happy? Or how do I find happiness? You don't find happiness. You are happiness. It's already in here. So you're actually coming back to happiness. So to get that feeling of happiness again and like how to be happy again is what happens is, right, we're born happy, like I said, we're born as love, as I said, and we get these layers built on us. So we're like the little like thing inside of the onion, you know, that like tiny bit inside of an onion. We are that when we're born. And as we grow older, we have layers of the onion. What you need to do is you have to peel back the layers and figure out your core as to what makes you happy. And this is why the subconscious work is so important, because when your conscious brain is in the way, It's throwing your ego at you, and it's throwing all these different rationales at you as to why you aren't happy, or what should be making you happy. Keyword there being should. What should make you happy, that of course you get confused as, does this actually make me happy, or should this make me happy? And then you start doing it for a while and you're like, I don't think this makes me happy. Or you're just confused because you're like, shouldn't I be happy by now? I'm like going to the beach every day. This should make me happy. Or I'm doing my gratitude journal every day. This should make me happy. Don't confuse the shoulds with what is actually your current situation or your current reality, or what your subconscious actually finds that actually makes you happy. I'm not speaking very good English right now. Whatever. Point being is you got to peel back the onion layers to get to the core as to what is actually going to make you happy. So for some people, that's going to the beach and going for swims. For other people, it's living in a really big city. For some people, it's drinking cocktails with their girlfriends. For other people, it's kale salads. Hold on, let me just shut my windows. Someone's blowing their thingy. Sorry, somebody is just doing the mowing, or the leaf blowing. Okay, so the thing with happiness is it's actually about the little things, right? It's the little things in life. It's having your cacao elixirs in the morning. It's having a sleep in. It's going out for a nice lunch. It's going for a walk. It's feeding your body healthy food. Whatever it is, it's the little things all added up. That's what brings you happiness. So don't think it's one giant thing of like, when I have the job of my dreams, then I'll be happy. No, that's not what happiness is. Happiness is what you were born with, and it's all of the little things. It's the hugs. It's saying hi to your best friends. It's getting into bed with clean sheets. It's all of those things added up. It is not one giant thing. Now, the positive of this is that hence you can be happy every day. Oh, thanks for love hearts, guys. You can be happy every day if you recognize that getting into bed with clean sheets makes you happy, that having a tidy room makes you happy, that going to Orchard Street and meeting girlfriends and spending $9 on an elixir makes me fucking happy. It's those little things. So what I also want to say about those is that you need to understand your beliefs around the things that make you happy. So for example, me going to Orchard Street, which if you don't live in Sydney, it's like this amazing elixir bar and it's like super hippie. I'll take you guys there on my Instagram story this afternoon. And they do all these amazing elixirs and you pay $1 million for like a fucking sip of something, but you feel amazing. So it doesn't matter. So the point being is, what is also your beliefs around the things that make you happy? Do you believe that you are worth the sleep in? Do you believe that it is worth paying $9 for an elixir? Or do you think, no, that's a waste of money, I shouldn't do that? So also, I want you to think about, what are the beliefs around the things that make me happy? Does reading a book on the beach at 2 p.m. in the afternoon make me happy? Okay, it does. But is my belief that I should be working, because if I'm not working at 2 p.m. on a Thursday, I'm a lazy fucker. Also, key note there, right? So what are your beliefs around the things that make you happy? What are your money beliefs around those things? So, oh, this is a good one actually. So a lot of people say like buying things doesn't bring happiness. I get where they're coming from, okay? I get where they're coming from. And no, technically a material object shouldn't make you happy, or it's not going to fix your life. But I have a little bit of a different approach on this. I actually love getting new clothes. And to me, buying really beautiful clothes that make me feel good and feminine and in my power and aligned, and like I enjoy putting nice dresses on, right? And then I feel amazing. I can tell you right now that if I was sitting here in gym clothes, I wouldn't have as good, amazing, deep coaching calls with my clients all day than if I'm wearing a beautiful spell dress that's new and red lippy, and my hair's actually all a bit gross today, but that's fine. So I actually think that when you go to the shops, if you find a dress or an item of clothing or a pair of fucking beautiful shoes, they can make you happy. But what is your belief around spending money on yourself? What is your belief around buying physical objects? if you want to buy a dress, is your ego going to pop in there of, yeah, but that's not going to make you happy, or, but you shouldn't spend money on that dress. You should be saving that for your holiday, or you should be saving that for something else, or whatever your money belief is, right? So how is your money belief then stopping you from actually achieving happiness, right? Because let's just get frank here. When you step into a beautiful dress, and this is a women thing, right? When you step into a stunning dress, you feel amazing. And then you are happy. And then your vibrations up here. And then what do you attract? More money, more friends, more love, more abundance, more clients, more work, more time, more space, more ease, more flow. Because you are in that higher frequency. So don't let your money beliefs get in the habit. And the way you can sort of figure out what are my beliefs around money, or let's say certain other things, exercise, that sort of stuff, is if I just said to you, like if you just closed your, if you can, if you're driving in the car, don't do this. If you can just close your eyes for a second and just like breathe and center yourself. And if I just said to you, how does money feel in your body? So say to yourself, how does money feel in my body? What comes up? Is it resistance? Is it a bit of pain? Is it like, oh, or is it like hard work? Like what comes up for you? For me, it used to be, and if I'm not careful, it can still be hard work, as in killing myself work, right? Or like hard to get, okay? So this is sort of like the key in like figuring out what are your beliefs around certain things. How does it feel in your body? This is why I'm so passionate about the mind-body connection, and not just in like a woo-woo way, but like a full-on scientific way about, this is what I posted about last night on my Instagram, like how your beliefs shape your reality and how the two work together. So what are your beliefs around money, and how does that stop you from buying the dress that actually makes you feel fucking amazing, or going and spending $9 on an elixir like that's got like 2 mils of coconut milk in it and a few adaptogens, but it makes me feel good. So I actually put the investment into going and doing that because I now know that it brings me happiness, which brings me so many other things. And it's just a little thing. Okay, happiness for me doesn't mean booking some extravagant trip. Of course, that's amazing, but I don't always have the luxury of just doing that, because to me, my work also brings me a lot of happiness. Okay, so I want you to just write that little nugget down, ladies, and to figure that out for yourself this year of what are the little things that bring you happiness, but how do your limiting beliefs, or how do your stories, or how does your conditioning get in the way from allowing yourself to actually fully experience those happiness? Or for when you are experiencing the quote unquote happiness, this is getting in the way from allowing you from experiencing the happiness to your full potential. Okay, like I would go, like for example, you'd go to Orchard Street to have a $9 elixir, but the whole time you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have spent $9 on this elixir, blah, blah, blah. Then of course you're not allowing yourself to fully experience the happiness and actually fully experience the experience with your friends and enjoying yourself. So there was no point in you doing that. All right. So how is your limiting beliefs blocking you from experiencing 100% happiness in every instance that brings you happiness? Okay. So you lying on the beach at 2 p.m. reading a book brings you happiness, but the whole time you're doing it, your brain's like, why aren't you at work? Okay. So how is your limiting belief of you should be working at 2 p.m. on a Monday? How is that limiting belief stopping you from fully enjoying yourself on the beach reading a book? Awesome. Okay. Next thing I wanted to talk about is priorities. Where are you putting yourself on your list of priorities? So are you putting money above yourself on your list of priorities, which is a really key thing, right? So for a lot of my clients, you know, or a lot of women that want to be my clients, they are putting money above themselves on their list of priorities because that is how they are conditioned, and that's a limiting belief, right? That if they don't have the money, they can't have happiness, or if they don't have the money, they can't, you know what I mean? It's money, 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 okay? Or they need all of this money in order for the rest of their life to go okay, and that they are second to money. Let me tell you, if you are putting money first and you second, you aren't actually going to allow yourself to experience happiness. Now, money does buy happiness to an extent, okay? So let's just use an example. Let's use a coaching example. Money does buy happiness to an extent, right? First, like a normal example. Money allows you to go on beautiful holidays, right? Which brings you happiness. Money allows you to live in a nice apartment, which makes you happy, right? Because you don't want to be living on the street. So money does actually bring you happiness, okay? Depending how you use it. So money, in a coaching sense, let's say you invest in yourself by going and hiring a coach, or seeing some healers, or going to a naturopath, or buying supplements for yourself, right? You spend money on yourself. Now, guess what? Doesn't take an Einstein to figure this out. That brings you happiness, because the play on effect from that is that, let's say with coaching, the play on effect is that you now know your limiting beliefs. The play on effect of that is because you invested in a coach, you now are working on yourself. You know your blockages. You cleared your blockages. You have, what else? You have, your coach has picked up on your blind spots for you. You are up-leveling yourself. You are achieving the goals, the desires. You are bringing in more clients. You have fixed all of your period issues. You've balanced your hormones. You're having great sex. You've attracted the partner of your dreams. Whatever it is, you love your life now. You love your body. You have the self-confidence, right? So, spending money on yourself did bring you happiness, not only because of the flow-on effects, but also because you have put yourself above money, which deep down is actually telling your subconscious that you value yourself. So, sorry, I need to like just block these comments for a second because they're distracting me from getting this. So, when you are not putting yourself above money, there is a part of you that's actually saying that money is worth more than you and that you are not worth it. It's much like, for example, when you are telling yourself in a relationship that, oh, it's fine, we can just be friends with benefits, or it's fine, I don't need him to text me when I want him to, or I don't need him to tick all my boxes, or I can deal with the fact that like, he doesn't want to give me amazing orgasms, right? We tell ourselves, women do a good case of this, we tell ourselves, oh, it's fine, and that we can live with that. And whilst you can live with that, the problem is there is a part of you really, really deep down that's actually saying to yourself, I'm not worth, or I don't believe that I am worth the relationship that ticks all the boxes, or I don't believe that I'm worth having a guy that gives me amazing orgasms. Do you see that? That deep down on a really subconscious level, you're actually telling yourself that you're not worth it. So when you are wanting to get a coach because you know that it's going to make you happy and you know that it's going to allow you to work on yourself, or when you're seeing a healer or a naturopath or whatever it is, because you know it is actually going to bring me, like, I'm going to then achieve things that I want to achieve, and then you say no to that, you're actually saying no to yourself, and that is telling yourself that you aren't worth it. Guess what? That's only going to make the problem worse, yeah? April Full Photography, sorry, can you stop sending letters? Because it's really distracting. Thanks. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So knowing your priorities and making sure that you're actually putting yourself first is going to bring you happiness, and it will allow you to actually then fulfill the other priorities. So let's say you're a mum, for example, putting yourself first will bring you happiness, and it will also bring your kids happiness, because when you are happy, the flow-on effect then not only flows upwards, but it also flows downwards, right? So the flow-on effect of you using the money to invest in yourself brings you happiness upwards, and by you being happy, it also has a flow-on effect of achieving all the things below you on the priority list. So by attracting more money, by having better friends, by exercising more, by eating healthier, all of those things below it, it's also attracting that. Now, if you put yourself first on your priority list, on that sort of same level, yourself should also be like investing in yourself, eating well, looking after your period, exercising, getting enough sleep. That's all you. So don't separate them and get them all confused and think they're all different priorities. They're pretty much all the same. Maybe spending money on other things isn't the same as investing in yourself, but buying like magnesium supplements or seeing a coach if you need that, or seeing a naturopath and getting herbs or whatever that, or going to an acupuncturist, that's all also investing in you, which is going to have that flow and effect of happiness. All right. Okay. Let's talk about, let's also talk about actually the law of change. So when you start to do this work and when you start to see that you're actually putting more work into making yourself happy, the law of change is that you are going to be met with resistance always, okay? As soon as you try something new, you will always get resistance from somewhere asking you like, yo, Willis, what is this? What are you talking about? Okay, you'll always get resilience and resistance. To counteract this, there's a couple things that are really important. Start easy, right? Take small steps. Don't make it that like, I've got to get up at 4:30 every morning and do 2 hours of meditation. That's a big fucking step. And like, you can almost guarantee that you're going to fail at that, right? Which is going to have a flow and effect of like, I'm not good enough. I didn't achieve this. Oh my God, it's already January 3rd and I can't even stick to one of my fucking New Year's resolution goals, all that sort of stuff. So you don't want to be doing that, okay? So you want to start off somewhere easy. Like for me, it's drinking more water. So by finding a fucking massive old coconut oil jar and filling it full with water and leaving it on my desk means that I actually drink more because it's sitting there. So starting off really small, because then you're celebrating the small things. So then throughout the day, I'm like, I've been drinking so much more water. I'm so proud of myself and I feel better, and it's a flow on effect because as I feel better, I invest in myself more, and then I'm doing more work, and then I'm feeling better and blah, blah. And then you guys get more nuggets because I'm feeling better and I fucking pass this shit on to you guys. So flow and effect. Another thing to counteract this resistance is to buddy up, okay? So have your friend hold you accountable, or you and your friend both are trying to drink more water this year, or go to the gym more, or you and your friend are both looking for a coach that's aligned with you because you both realize, you know what, this is the year where I'm going to figure out my blind spots and I'm going to invest in myself. So it's also those little things that are really helpful. Okay, and when you fall off, get back on the horse. Do not beat yourself up. You're not a failure. Don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, so that's sort of that when you start changing when you start changing things and trying to make yourself realize that little things can make you happy, you are going to be met with resistance absolutely no matter what. Okay, that is just the law of change. All right. Okay, let's quickly jump on to habits, and then I gotta go because my lunch is probably burning in the oven. So, habits. A lot of people, they like, my new habit is gonna be cleaning my room, or that's my fucking new habit of like stay cleaner, okay? So it can, whatever your habit is, right? But then the problem is they don't have enough reasoning and force and emotion behind the intention that they don't stick it out, okay? So a couple of things to actually make your habits stick for this year is that you need a reason. What is your reason? For example, one of my, I don't do New Year's resolutions, I just have goals, but one of my New Year's sort of resolutions is actually to be tidier. I'm clean, but I'm not necessarily the tidiest person on the planet. I'm just like, it's not high on my priority list. I'm like a creative mess, right? Like an inspired mess. Anyway, so one of my things this year is actually to be tidier. Now, my reason for that is I find that my brain is clearer. I don't get as overwhelmed. I'm not as stressed out. My space just feels calmer and a little more centered and grounded. And because I'm getting so into my coaching work and I'm getting so intuitive and I'm getting so just like, oh my God, downloads all the time. And I'm really getting into this next realm. And it means that I'm doing long coaching sessions, 2 hours, heavy shit. I'm bringing in, clients that are really, really ready to up level and really ready to invest in themselves this year. And I'm just like so like flabbergasted with the sort of stuff that I'm doing. I know that I actually really need a tidy space this year more than any time in my life. So that is my reason. And I am so 100% committed to I cannot go to bed, I cannot start a coaching call without my desk being clear, without my room being clear, without my office space being tidy, clean, and the energy being clear, right? So having a really solid, strong reason behind your new habit is so important, and putting emotion into it. Putting emotion into it. If you do not put emotion into it, you will not be engaging your subconscious. And if you're not engaging your subconscious, then you're not going to create a new habit and a new pattern for yourself. Your conscious brain is not enough. You need to get it into your subconscious, because then the habit turns into something that you're not even thinking about doing. It just becomes this new thing that you're doing, okay? The next thing is you need to understand your trigger. So if you don't know what triggers your old behavior, you'll never change it, because you'll already be doing it before you know it. So one of the things I do with my coaching clients is they have post-it notes all around the house and stuff, because this is so important, that if you don't know your trigger, and if you haven't caught your trigger before it's even happened, you won't even, it's so confusing to explain this. It will happen before you even know it. So by catching your trigger before it happens is really, really key. So whether that means having reminders in your calendar that come up automatically to remind you, I love myself, or that I'm beautiful, or you want to go do 5 minutes of yoga because you're going to feel amazing. But reminding yourself before you're even triggered to like, I'm fucking too lazy to do that shit, I ain't doing it. And actually putting in there the why behind the reason, to allow your subconscious to go, oh yeah, I'm doing this for this, and not allow your ego to get in the way of like, seeps. All right, that's really, really important, okay? The next thing is a micro habit. Do not make your new habit this year of like, I'm going for a 10-kilometer run every single morning without doubt. That's fucking huge. Like I was saying about something else before, and you're kind of setting yourself up for the possibility of failure. I want you to think about really micro habits, okay? So what are little things that you can be doing? So a micro habit, pulling up your bed, having a glass of water next to your desk, on your desk all the time. Making sure that you allow yourself time in the week to clean your room. Just little tiny micro habits so you can celebrate along the way, okay? Because if it takes too long for you to do, your brain is going to find a way for your good intention to be hacked. Your fucking thing in here, the bloody brain, is going to find a way for your good intention to not be achieved, all right? That's what your ego is going to do. So get into the habit of having little tiny micro habits, okay? The next thing is effective practice. Obviously, you need to be constantly practicing this effectively, okay? And I want you to also plan a resilient system with built-in fail safes. Okay, so when you fail, that's okay. You know what to do to get back on the horse, okay? Do not think you are a failure because you didn't clean your room one day or you didn't drink enough water, okay? So I want you to have this system so that when it does break, or when you do fall down a little bit, it's okay, because the next step to recover is so obvious that it's not a big deal. You've got that step of recovery right there in mind, in place, so that if something doesn't work out to its best ability, or if you failed one week by having a bit of a messy week, that's okay, because your step to recovery is right there and it's so obvious, okay? So don't wait for yourself to fail before you think, how am I gonna get back on the horse? Know your plan of action before you've even started your new micro habit. Okay, and then it's really important with your triggers. So quick couple back, I said that you need to know your triggers so that you can jump ahead of them before they even pop up, okay? So your triggers are gonna be things like location, time, emotional state, and other people. So certain locations will trigger you. Certain times of the day, or times of the month, or times of the year are gonna trigger you to not achieve your habit. Your emotional state is going to affect whether you achieve your habit or not. If you're stressed, overwhelmed, tired, is that going to mean that you actually then reach for good food or exercise or look after your period or take your supplements and stuff like that? That's going to affect it. And then of course, other people. How are other people in your life and in your space and in your environment and your energy also going to affect your ability to achieve the habits that you want to achieve, okay? And this is a really big one if you're in a relationship, because very often we let these things slide when we're seeing our boyfriend and whatever, or our husband's around, because we deem that we don't need it to make us happy or whatever, because, oh, they're going to make us happy. No, 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 no. If you meditate every morning for 10 minutes and then you don't do it when your husband's around and when your on a holiday, or when you're staying at your boyfriend's house and you don't do it, you're not prioritizing yourself, and you are not going to be as happy that day with him, but you're also deep down telling yourself that he is more of a priority than you. Now, buddy, you are more of a priority than him, because if you don't prioritize yourself, you sure as hell are not going to show up for him, which just means he's going to make you cranky, which is going to make you cranky. So you first, always. Okay, and then some other things is that it's really important for you this year with happiness, with habits, all that stuff, to shed this identity that you've had from the past that's actually been keeping you from achieving your goals, keeping you from being happy, keeping you from achieving your habits. What is this identity that you've been telling yourself? Have you been telling yourself, I'm always running late, and that's become your identity, right? If you keep telling yourself that, that's going to become, of course, embedded in your subconscious. So you need to change that identity for yourself, and that's why this subconscious work, and I'm doing so much of this year with my clients, and I'm actually going to be recording a whole pile of hypnosis tracks and meditations for them this year to be doing outside of our coaching times, which I'm super excited about, because it means that they're going to be like just bombarded by so much amazing, not bombarded, but like they're just going to be like fucking marinating in so much work all the time, which is going to just elicit amazing results. But that's why it's really important for you to be constantly reprogramming your subconscious. And that's why I love this subconscious work, because you can't, scrap your old identity and create a new identity for yourself in your conscious brain. You need to be in your subconscious brain in order for you to reprogram, okay? Otherwise, you're literally going to just be fighting against yourself the whole time, going, no, Monica, I have to do this. Actually, what did a client say to me today? She said, which was a really important thing, she said, I found the work we do together to be really easy to implement because it doesn't feel like work, it just flows. And this is really important, right? Because if it feels like work, if you're like constantly like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I need to start like chanting and doing this every single day in order for me to feel good, that's all in your conscious brain. And there's a part of that that's really important, right? Because you need to be consciously doing some things. But if you're not also activating your subconscious brain, you're literally just like constantly pushing and running and like trying to be like, oh, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. And it's actually becoming like a chore. And that's why the subconscious stuff's really important, because you'll plug me in, you'll have the tracks going, you'll be lying there meditating. Yes, you need to schedule in 20 minutes of your day or 10 minutes of your day, a couple times a week to do this work, but it's actually reprogramming your subconscious, which means that when you're then, let's say you're doing a new programming for self-confidence, that way when you're then having sex with your boyfriend, you're not like, oh, I've got to remember to be confident. You don't have to tell yourself that, because it's in your subconscious now that you're doing it without even thinking about it. So I hope that kind of just like makes sense a little bit about the difference between your conscious brain and your subconscious brain. So your subconscious brain are the things you're not thinking about. So because of the subconscious work, you're then not having to tell yourself to relax and be confident when you're having sex. And the conscious brain is when you're telling yourself when you're having sex, oh my God, I've got to relax and be confident and be this and be that. That's where the difference is. And that's where it's really important that you're actually doing both sides of the equation and not just one side of the work and not just the other side of the work, okay? What else did I write down? Yeah, because also clearing energy doesn't happen in a conscious state, right? You aren't consciously clearing energy if you're only up here in your conscious brain where your ego is. You need to be in your subconscious brain to clear the energy, to clear the blockages, to make these new beliefs in your life and to manifest them, okay? And this sort of also comes along with shame, right? You can't release shame by yourself by being in the conscious brain. This is why people will be like, I've read 1 million books, why haven't I changed? Because you can't release shame by yourself, okay? Shame lives in secrecy. It lives in your blind spots. It lives in your shadows. And this is where coaching and healers and other people are so important, even friends, because other people see your blind spots. Other people see your shadows. Other people see the areas where this shame is hiding in secrecy. And that's why investing in coaches and mentors and whatever provides these results that reading a book doesn't, because reading a book is still you trying to figure out your own blockages, which to an extent is helpful, but you aren't going to be able to figure out every single one of your shadows or other things living in your blind spots, which is really, really important to do, okay? Because the thing is, we often don't even know what the association is between our limiting beliefs and our reality until we're in that subconscious state. In my sessions with clients, I'll very often, my lunch is going to be so burnt, I reckon. We'll see. I'm having too much fun. In my sessions, what I'll often do with clients is when I ask them questions, it's all their conscious brain. They're like trying to come up with answers and think. And that's where I go, okay, let's get you into a subconscious state. I ask the same questions and it's just like verbal diarrhea of just like all this shit. And they're like, oh my God, I've been holding on to that for 20 years, right? Clear example of how we often don't even know what's in there until we're in this trance state, until we're in this subconscious state. And it's really important that you actually allow yourself to get into that subconscious state to make new habits, to shift new things, and to allow yourself to actually achieve your own happiness. Hey, Marissa, it's really, really important. We're going to do this together, Marissa, next week or whenever I'm seeing you. Go back and watch the rest of this, the beginning of this. Okay, so guys, start off slowly. James Bond movies don't start off, sorry, what I'm saying is start off with a bang. You don't need to, with your habits or with everything like that, or just with your life, you don't always need to start off with a runway, okay? Allow yourself to jump into it. You don't necessarily need to read 5 books before you go and invest in yourself or whatever, okay? Or before you make a habit. You don't need to start off slowly, okay? James Bond movies don't start off slowly, okay? James Bond movies start off with him jumping off fucking cliffs and skiing down avalanches and whatever, okay? Start off with a bang. Start your year off with a bang, right? Be like, fuck this shit, I'm doing work on me. Or fuck this shit, I'm making new habits. Or fuck this shit, I'm figuring out what are my limiting beliefs that are stopping me from being truly happy. Start off with a bang and don't fall into the trap of like, gotta start off slowly because it might not work. Or gotta start off slowly in case I fail, then I won't have as far to fall. Babe, if you start off with a fucking bang and you fail, you still have achieved more than if you started off with a runway and fucking failed. Does that make sense? So if you start off with a bang and you're up here and you fail and you end up down here, you still achieved more than if you start off with a runway and you're here and then you fail and you're back down here. You still achieved more. Fail hard, fail fast. Pretty sure it's like Emma Isaac says that, or Lisa Messenger or something. Fail well. Do a good job at it, because failure isn't a bad thing. Failure is actually you getting a fucking ginormous lesson that you can use. Every time you fail is 1,000,000% of an opportunity for growth for yourself. For you to go, okay, why did this happen? Why did I fail? Where are the nuggets out of it? That's what's really, really important, okay? So, yeah. Go off with a bang, be James Bond, be Wonder Woman, whatever the fuck you want to be, make new habits. And when you, the thing is, a lot of the time also, this is what I was going to say before, is when you're like, oh, I'll just start off slowly, I need a runway before I take off, as opposed to jumping off a fucking cliff. If you're saying to yourself, I need a runway, why? Are you telling yourself you're going to fail? Is there this fear, this limiting belief in your mind that I have to start off slow because if I don't, I'm going to fail so big? Fuck that shit. Just jump off. Hell, I'm moving to New York end of this year. Crazy. I'm moving to New York end of this year. And as I was saying to my friend who's moving with me, is that, you know what? Even if we do fail, even if we run out of money, even if we have to move back home, at least we tried. At least we tried, okay? And the situation of us going and then quote unquote failing is still better, okay, than the pain of us not moving over there and then living with this what if. The pain of what if is so much worse than the pain of failing, okay? Because failing is actually just learning. It's just a lesson. Swap in your brain, stop thinking as failure as a bad thing and start thinking of failure as a big fucking learning experience, because that is what it is. Oh, I'm like sweating. This is a good fucking one. Okay, I'm gonna walk and talk because my lunch is like 110% probably fucking burned. Anyway, that is my Instagram live for today, guys. I'm gonna try and save it, but can't guarantee anything. I am gonna try and film a few YouTube videos. 1 second. Everyone hold on to your horses. I'm just getting my lunch out of the oven. Okay, sorry, doing two things at once, just getting my lunch out of the oven. I am gonna be starting to film. I'm actually creating a new habit and committing to myself is that every single Thursday a new YouTube video is gonna be up. And it's gonna be like just little 5-minute nuggets. So if you guys have, please actually send me through your questions or your things that you'd like me to talk about, anything to do with women's life, everything. Anything I talk about, send me anything you want me to talk about for little YouTube lives that are going to be like nuggets, not YouTube lives, YouTube videos. And I'm going to be releasing a new one every single Thursday. And I'm saying this on here to commit to myself, to hold myself accountable, and I'm going to fucking do it. I'm actually going to record one now, but I hope you guys got many nuggets out of this. Oh, something I wanted to mention is I am now, as of this year, taking on coaches that want to be coaches. So if you've just like done a coaching thing, or you want to be a health coach, or you're trying to set up your coaching business and you're like, I don't even know how to get clients, I don't know where to start, why aren't I getting clients, all that sort of stuff. I love you, Asti, too. I'll reply to your text in a second. If you are one of those coaches and you're like, I need help to set up my coaching business, please slide into my DMs. Winky face. Please slide into my DMs because I am now going to be coaching coaches that want to do it. I'm only going to be taking on like literally 3. So really not many spaces available at all. So if you would like that, do not miss out. Do not miss out. Please send me a message so that you can get that spot. And then of course, if you want to work with me, obviously send me a DM or send me an email or jump on my website and you can make a free chat with me so we can talk about everything. But oh my God, I am just so excited for this year, and I'm so excited for my clients this year and my new clients because the shit that I am up leveling with this year, like my clients now get like massive packages with like meditations and hypnosis scripts and workbooks and reflection sheets and like just so much fucking juicy info that I am like, girls, I am just pumped for you all. So if you want to get a hold of that and you're like, fuck yeah, I want this, I need this year is going to be my bitch, then obviously contact me. Anyway, enough salesy talk. I am going to go and record some YouTubes and have some more client sessions. But as per usual, ladies, lovely talking to you, and send me any questions or send me please any feedback or your biggest takeaway from today, because I love getting messages from you and I love sharing them so that we can help more people and we can inspire more women. And if you've got a friend that doesn't already follow me, I would love for you to let them, like, tell them about me and get them to follow me. And I want to get back to 10K because I just want the swipe up thing again. I actually love that I got off 10K and like I'm triggering that many people and pissing enough people off that they're like unfollowing me, which is fabulous. But I want 10K just for the swipe up because it makes my life so much easier. So anyway, have a beautiful day and I will talk to you all later. Bye.